Brazil, France, England. That's all anyone is talking about. Same names, same predictions, same boring takes. But here's the thing about the World Cup. It has never, not once, gone exactly how people predicted. And this year, 48 teams, a brand new format, matches across 3 different countries, more games, more chaos, more upsets than any World Cup in history, and I've got the 5 teams that are going to do the shocking. Welcome to the Sports Lab. These are not random picks. Every team on this list has a legitimate, specific reason to go deep at World Cup 2026. I'm going to give you the case for each one, and by the end of this video, at least one of these teams is going to make complete sense to you. Let's count them down from 5. Number 5, Japan. Now I know what you're thinking, and I need you to stop thinking that. In 2022, Japan walked into a group with Germany and Spain, 2 of the most historic football nations on the planet. Teams packed with Champions League winners, Ballon d'Or contenders, players worth hundreds of millions, and Japan beat both of them. Not lucky wins, not scrappy last-minute goals. Controlled, tactical, disciplined victories against elite opposition. Here's what people refuse to accept about Japanese football. Their players are no longer playing in a domestic league nobody watches. They are spread across the Bundesliga, Serie A, the Premier League. These are players who compete at the highest level, week in, week out. They know how to handle pressure. They know what elite football looks like because they play it every week. Japan don't win ugly. They outthink you. They press you into mistakes. They defend as a unit, and they punish you on the counter. And every single team that walks into a game against Japan thinking it's an easy 3 points, that's the team that goes home embarrassed. Japan are my number 5. Underestimate them at your absolute peril. Number 4, Colombia. South American football gets dominated by 2 conversations, Brazil and Argentina. That's it. Everyone else is basically invisible in the media, and Colombia has been sitting quietly in the background, building something that nobody is giving them credit for. Here's what makes Colombia dangerous. They don't rely on one player to carry them. That sounds basic, but it's actually massive in a tournament context. When you have one superstar, you have one person opponents can plan for. You neutralize that one player and the whole team falls apart. Colombia doesn't have that problem. They have threats everywhere, pace on the wings, creativity in midfield, physicality at the back. They've also been one of the most consistent qualifying sides in South America, which is genuinely one of the hardest qualifying processes in world football. Every game is a battle, no easy opponents. By the time Colombia arrives at the World Cup, they are battle-hardened in a way that most European teams simply are not. Quarterfinals minimum for Colombia. I'd put money on it. Number 3. And honestly, at this point I don't even want to call Morocco a dark horse anymore, because what they did in 2022 was not a fluke. Let me paint the picture for you. Qatar 2022. Morocco, an African nation that had never in the entire history of the World Cup gone beyond the quarterfinals. They get into the tournament and they knock out Belgium, then Spain, then Portugal. They reach the semi-finals of a World Cup. The semi-finals. The mainstream media had a moment of shock, gave them their flowers, and then completely moved on. But Morocco didn't move on. They kept building. They kept working. And now they arrive at World Cup 2026 with something most teams at this tournament don't have. Genuine big tournament experience at the highest level. Their defensive structure is one of the most disciplined in international football. Breaking Morocco down is a nightmare. They are organized, compact, physical and smart. And on the counter-attack, they are absolutely lethal. But here's the thing that really excites me. In 2022, they did all of that without really being expected to. This time, they know they can do it. The belief is already there. There is no fear. There is no moment of, oh wow, we've made it this far. They've been this far before. Morocco in the final is not a crazy prediction. It is a completely legitimate one. And if you're sleeping on them right now, you are making a serious mistake. Number 2, the hosts, the United States of America. Home advantage in football is real. I don't mean this in a vague, emotional way. I mean it statistically, historically, factually. Host nations consistently perform above their expected level at World Cups. The crowd, the travel advantage, the familiarity, the sleep schedule, the food, all of it adds up in ways people don't fully account for. Now give all of that to the USA. American sports culture is unlike anything else in the world. When they get behind a team, fully behind a team, the atmosphere becomes something opponents are genuinely not ready for. 80,000 screaming Americans in a stadium is a completely different experience to playing a neutral game somewhere in Europe. But forget the atmosphere for a second. Look at the squad itself. This is genuinely the most talented generation of American football players in history. Players forged in top European academies, playing in the biggest leagues in the world, arriving at a home World Cup in the prime years of their careers. Every knockout game the USA plays will feel like a home game. Every opponent will feel that pressure. And when tournament football gets tight, when it goes to extra time, when it goes to penalties, momentum and crowd energy become the difference between going home and going through. The USA are not just making up the numbers. They are a genuine threat, and anyone who flies into an American stadium thinking otherwise is in for a very unpleasant evening. And number one, my top dark horse. The team I genuinely believe can go all the way. The Netherlands. I already know the response. The Dutch always bottle it. Total football legends but never win the big one. And yes, the Netherlands have one of the most painful footballing histories of any major nation. Finalists in 1974, 1978 and 2010. Never champions. Always the nearly men. But that narrative has to break at some point. Every curse ends. And I think 2026 is the year. Here's why. The Netherlands come into this tournament with experience, balance and genuine quality in every single position. They're not relying on one generational talent to drag them through. They have a system, a real, functioning, tested system built over years. And systems win tournaments. Here's the psychological angle that nobody talks about. Every other major nation carries the weight of expectation. Brazil must win it. France must win it. England must finally win it after 60 years of hurt. The Netherlands, nobody fully expects them to. They exist in this strange space where they're respected but never truly feared. And that is the perfect place to be in a knockout tournament. No suffocating pressure. Dangerous squad. A massive point to prove. 4 years of build-up to this exact moment. Netherlands are my number one dark horse for World Cup 2026. And if they lift that trophy, remember this video. So, there it is. 5 teams the world is completely sleeping on. Japan, tactical nightmares, who beat giants and will do it again. Colombia, the most complete squad nobody is talking about. Morocco, semi-finalists who never stopped building. USA, hosts with a generational squad and 80,000 fans behind every single game. And Netherlands, the nearly men who I think finally end the curse in 2026. Now, I want to hear from you. Drop your dark horse in the comments right now. If your pick isn't on this list, tell me who and tell me why. Let's have that conversation below. If you're new here, subscribe. We cover football, cricket and UFC, and we don't do boring takes. Every video on this channel has an actual opinion in it. And come find us on Instagram. We're at thesportslab_HQ. Daily reels, match reactions, hot takes, stuff that doesn't make it onto YouTube. Follow us over there. World Cup 2026 kicks off Thursday. The content is just getting started. See you in the next one.